Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. I'm gonna revisit a video that I did like about 6 months ago on packing bearings and quill assemblies. I had a lot of comments that said I wasn't doing it right or it wasn't working and stuff like that. So we're gonna do a few experiments, what people were telling me in the comments section, see if they're true or not. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, we're just gonna talk about the AYP quill assemblies or mandrels or whatever you want to call them. But anyways, the reason I made the video is because this one here is a true AYP quill assembly, and these here are the knockoff ones. Like you can buy for like a 46, that takes two quill assemblies, or a 54 that takes three. Well, you can buy a pack of three of these, the knockoff ones, for the same price as one of these ones that you get from like AYP. And there ain't really nothing wrong with these, but if you just look at the quality of them, see how smooth the aluminum housing is on this one here, and the where you bolt it to the deck, they're not tapped out yet. That's like an original equipment one. Here's one of the knockoff ones, and you can just see like it must be like a different quality of aluminum cast or whatever, but it's and how rough it is. If you take care of them, I'm sure they're gonna last as long. But the reason I made the video is on these knockoff ones, there wasn't very much grease in the bearings. So what I did, I made a video where you take the inside caps off so you can fill the bearings up full of grease. Because we'll just take one out of here. It says right on there they're made in China. I'm sure that's where these come from. But I'll pop this seal off and show you here. Let me get, because if you don't put grease in them knockoff ones, if you mow 5-10 acres of cutting and say you cut your grass like 3-4 times a month, you can actually wear out one of these quill assemblies in a month. But one of the complaints that I was getting on these bearings here, they said, well, leave the caps on and just fill up full of grease. Grease will seep through there. Well, on these Chinese ones, there's actually no place for the grease to get in. Then, like a good American bearing, they actually got these slits in them, and they got this piece right here that's open, so grease can actually get in them. So you don't actually have to take these dust covers off. A good quality bearing, and two of these bearings cost as much as one of these aftermarket ones. A good quality American bearing. But I'll just show you here. There's just absolutely no way you can get grease in there on it. But that's one of the experiments I'm gonna do. We're gonna pack this up full of grease and see if grease actually gets into the bearing itself. But see, the reason why I wanted to show you the grease, there's a dab of grease right here. There's a dab of grease right here. That's all the grease that's in this bearing. And naturally it's gonna wear out. With this seal, there's like a gasket on top and a gasket on bottom. I just don't know how grease is gonna go in there, but that's gonna be an experiment I'm gonna do to see if that's true, because there are a lot of comments saying, well, just leave them things on there and fill it up full of grease, they'll get in there. So we're gonna try that. That's one of the experiments I'm gonna do. But that's like one of the main reasons I did that bearing video, because let's face it, since the pandemic, I don't care what the government says. A lot of people don't have money like they used to, and if there's a way for people to save money, that do no problem. Then before the pandemic, I always sell the original equipment once here. And before the pandemic, people would bring their own mandrels or quills in, and I'd put them on for them. I would never do that before the pandemic, but during the pandemic and afterwards, people are hurting for money. So I told them, well, if you don't want to buy mine, buy your own, bring them, and I'll put them on. And I tell them, about the grease thing, and I asked them, "Do you want me to put grease in there for you so they last longer?" And they say, "Sure." Get one of these put together here. And let's show how the grease goes in. You put grease on the top here, and it goes in that hole right there, in that cavity, and it fills this up. So this is an aftermarket one with them sealed dust covers. I'm not gonna put a pulley on it. I might have to put 2 washers on there, but I'm gonna keep it tight, and we're gonna fill it up full of grease, and we're gonna see if the grease does get in them bearings. Yeah, I'm gonna show you one other thing between a original equipment, Quill or mandrel, and aftermarket. They both have the same nuts on them, no washers. Both the same on the bottom. This one here is the original equipment, and here's one of them aftermarket knockoffs. Got the scale set at 0. This is the original equipment one. Set it on there. 2 pounds, 15.2. Take it off. And grab that aftermarket one. 214 was a little bit lighter, but just the quality's a little bit better from the original. But I'm not saying nothing bad against these, because ever since the pandemic, if the customers buy them, I'll put them on for them. I mean, I know times are tough and money is hard to come by. I get all that. But anyways, let's do that experiment on the grease. So this is that knockoff one. I'm gonna put a bolt on it so we fill it full of grease. It don't spread apart or anything. Then you gotta watch out these zerks. Seem like they're always loose. So take a nut dryer or a pair of pliers and tighten it up the best you can. Okay. I got a nut on there. I'm gonna put some gloves on. I'm gonna pack the thing up full of grease and see if grease goes inside them bearings without taking them dust covers off. I guess I should have done that in that other video. Hard to believe I have made that many people mad on that video. It's just crazy. Okay, I'm filling it up. It's getting harder to push, so it must be getting there filled up. Okay, let's try that. It's gonna be kind of messy here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this bolt off, and we'll take it apart, and we'll see if grease got in that. Well, I didn't fill it up hardly at all. It's really getting hard pushing. Let's put some more grease in there, I guess. I'm gonna use the air grease gun, really get some grease going in there. I was filling up the cavity. It's not filling like I wanted it to. Okay, the grease gun was empty, so I put a new tube of grease in there and filled it up. And you can see grease is coming out where the splines are. And what it did, it actually blew out that bottom seal. You see that? It took it out. There's so much pressure in there. So that thing popped out. That dust cover popped out, and it filled the bottom one full of grease. Well, let's check the top one. It is completely full of grease. Okay, the seal stayed on that one there. Let me take a paper towel. I'm just going to wipe the outside off. So let's see if grease got into that one. And you can see, no, just a dot of grease right there on that one. A little dot of grease right there. So I did the experiment, and on these Chinese ones you can't, but on a good bearing, they have them slots, and they have that gap right there. That way grease can get into them. But when I did that video, I was talking about them aftermarket quill assemblies or mandrels or whatever you want to call them. That's the reason I did the videos on these, because I hardly come into grease. American bearing has way more grease in it. So that's mainly what I wanted to really talk to you about. There was other comments too, but I wasn't talking about a good bearing. I was talking about them cheap ones. Just got to get grease in there. So I hope that helps you out a little bit. Anyways, I appreciate you watching it. That one's good to go. It's all ready to go. Anyways, I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you liked it. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please subscribe. Anyway, you guys have a good afternoon.